Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
Porn industry people. What are some dark facts about your work that viewers have no clue about? Had a friend who did amateur and self-shot stuff. The amount of online and identity protection they used was incredible, and even then it wasn't enough. They never used their computer or phone without a VPN, and whenever they live streamed they'd always use a proxy under the VPN too. None of her accounts were tied to her actual address, always to a PO box, and even then she made sure her roommate was the one to actually collect her mail. All of her posts were geomarked to different cities, and were always uploaded on a delay. Despite everything she did, she still had people able to track her down. She's had to take legal action against stalkers many times, and last time we talked she said she had something like 6 individual restraining orders against people who found her address. People can be fucking scary, and I do not blame her for how much she does to protect herself and her identity. I remember watching a video from a woman in the business, and she said, "If you do this, you're guaranteed to have a stalker. At least one, but probably more." Quote, "I was only a stripper and had a stalker who tried to kidnap me at work once. Thankfully he took being banned seriously and never came back. This isn't talked about enough in the sex worker industry. If you think you're talking to the model directly through of messaging, lol, I got some bad news for ya. You mean hot sexy singles aren't looking for me in my area? Sad face. There are. It's you. You are the hot sexy single in your area. Go get champ. There was a contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race who did of ghostwriting. It made me very happy to know dudes were messaging with a very gay man instead of the woman in the photos, lol. Every spontaneous scene you've ever watched had a camera guy sweating in yoga positions 3 feet away. The porn doesn't shoot itself, tears of joy. Tons of amateur creators strap a GoPro to their heads to film first-person POV scenes. So it does shoot itself, kinda. A lot of injuries happen to both men and women during filming. I used to call on a doctor's office in the valley that specialized in treating porn actors. The stories I was told were absolutely horrible, and when regular people tried some of this stuff they oftentimes ended up in the ER. I've heard porn stars have their own doctor who understands the nature of their work instead of a regular doctor. You get access to that doctor if you have a contract with a major porn studio. Yes, but that doctor is insanely busy because he's also an astronaut, a firefighter, a plumber, and delivery man. So basically all porn should start with, the actors in this film are trained professionals. All positions were choreographed by professional fuckers. Do not try this at home. TBF, this absolutely should be in the start of the video, right before the age disclaimer. To many young PPL thinking that shit, it's how it's supposed to go. Have performed, female, in hundreds of scenes for mainstream studios. The poor boys who join at 18 years old and force themselves onto boner pills, inexplicably affecting their own personal sex lives for this thrill. It's sad. Performed with a guy who had to jerk off watching porn in the closet, away from 3 female talent in a BGGGA scene, in order to get his nut for his own pop shot. Couldn't do it in person with the real thing right in front of him. Crazy. BGGGA scene. Boy girl girl girl. Android. Alien. BG's acapella. Boy girl 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 Anteater. Classic scene. I watch it to this day. Those are the chords to Story of My Life by Social Distortion. No longer performing mainstream, though. I left it after meeting my incredible partner. Now we make porn together, happily ever after, heart and arrow sparkles. Just like Sleeping Beauty. I mean, it has been a while, but I'm pretty sure that's how the story went. Former bondage porn producer here. 95% of the models are doing it just to pay the rent. The other 5% do it to pay for the drug habit. None of them are doing it because they enjoy it. This is sadder in the context of bondage porn. I'd assumed that particular category was at least performed by enjoyers. But hey, most people assume I do my job for pleasure and passion. And I used to. Now it's a check that I occasionally get some warm fuzzies from between paydays. I've read way too many stories about performers in the more extreme genres. Apparently, it's extremely common for the scene to be pushed way too far, well beyond what the performer signed up for. Ignoring safe words, doing acts they didn't agree to, causing real pain. They get away with it because what are they gonna do? Complain to the police that they agreed to film a scene where they agreed to get slapped and then they got slapped. Never mind that they asked to stop the scene, used the safe word, and the person slapped them with full force instead of a soft stage slap that was planned. It's not like authorities or society has much respect for sex workers in the best of times. We're all selling our bodies and souls to some degree, but at least I don't get literally raped for a living. You ever get PM'd the wrong tits? Was a sex reporter many years ago. Maybe half the women I met did it to pay for medical expenses. Fertility treatments, braces, dental work, weight loss surgery, breast reduction, and insulin were all common reasons. Most of the rest did it for rent and groceries. I didn't meet many addicts, but there were some. Others have said it, but the smell is horrendous. Eye-watering. Like nothing you can imagine. Outside of porn, they're people you see every day and fairly unrecognizable. This was before facial recognition was a thing. I met real-life nurses, business owners, teachers, and even a sheriff's deputy. Almost everything you see is contrived, manipulated, or flat-out fake. Edit: I didn't expect this comment to turn into an armor. I'll answer as many questions as I can. I will not identify the publication, the city, nor any performer I met. What is a sex reporter? They report all sexual activities to the government. I wrote about sex for a local magazine. Porn producers, orgy houses, swingers, stuff like that. But also vice cops and purity pledges. Not me, but I have a buddy who was a video editor in the industry. His company specialized in first-timers, and he said the bulk of his job was to remove the scenes where the woman was visibly crying. He quit after one of them died by suicide. Jesus, that's heartbreaking. Yeah, I expected some of this to be depressing, but I didn't expect it to be this dark. The incognito man from the incognito tab remembers everything and sells your browser data anyway. He just doesn't share it with you anymore. Tell us more. When you click incognito mode, it expressly says that it still shares all your data with your web service provider. They can still pull your search history, even in incognito mode. You gotta have a VPN or use a privacy-forward browser. IRC DuckDuckGo is pretty good on that front. But yeah, incognito man basically only keeps your history from showing on your own computer. Women starve themselves before anal scenes. Often they don't eat for 24 hours and give themselves enemas to prep for a day of shooting anal. Got curious a while back, bought a few toys. Takes about 32 ounces of water, drinking, and a good 3 flushes, bidet, to where you're even remotely not leaving anything behind. If you eat breakfast that day, even longer. Have no idea how these girls do it. No thanks. Fiber supplements go a long way in reducing prep time. I'm a gay dude and a bottom. Anal is so fucking annoying and difficult. When I know I'm going to be fucking, I also starve myself for a bit beforehand. Enemas are annoying AF to do. And if I'm going to be fucking for a while, like an evening or whole night at a sex party, or if there will be considerable time between cleaning out and having sex, I'll take Imodium to stop everything in its tracks for a good long while. It's easier when it's a casual spur-of-the-moment thing with a partner you trust. Just a quick clean out if you feel the need. If anything were to happen, it's someone you trust and you just clean up and or move things to the shower. Good tops understand shit happens sometimes when you're fucking an ass and handle it maturely and respectfully. But if it's a hookup with someone I don't know, I don't take any chances. Taking daily fiber has definitely helped the whole process. Also, eating healthier and working out keeps things more regular and cleaner overall. But if I'm going on vacation to a gay destination where I plan to be a whore, I basically starve myself to be safe. A lot of tops don't appreciate the work that bottoms put in. Enemas aren't great for you, and I've had some issues from too many enemas in too short a time. Imodium when you don't have diarrhea isn't great for you. Starving yourself obviously isn't great for you. Spontaneous sex is always a risk. If there's even a chance I'll find a guy to go home with on a night out, I have to decide if it's worth it to clean out and if I need to limit what I eat that day. Starving yourself and cleaning out till your colon is sparkling just to go home without hooking up is the most annoying and disappointing feeling. But I like getting dick more than enough to make the whole ordeal worth the hassle. Usually, I wish I was a top, or even more vers. But bottoming is what I love, unfortunately. Don't even get me started on what guys who get fisted go through. It's so much more involved and time-consuming than anything I have to do. They basically clean out their whole entire colon versus the small part of it that normal bottoms clean out. Unless they're into scat, I guess. Fascinating. Username checks out. Hey, what happens when you do too many enemas? Is it just messing with gut flora or something maybe? This is generally the number one way you know many of these casting videos are completely staged and the women know exactly what they are getting into. Because in the inevitable anal scene it is never messy. Not once, across hundreds of videos. All those women have prepped for anal ahead of time. I am a producer, don't want to mention the website here as I don't want to be labeled a spammer. However, I can promise you, no legit porn scene is ever truly a casting couch. Reason being, the paperwork and there is a lot of to comply with Visa and MasterCard rules to accepting those charge cards on your website. The original casting couch website is filmed in Scottsdale and I know the guy that does it. It's all set up. A lot of women entering the industry are drug addicts, even the top performers you know. Cocaine is used in anal sex scenes to numb the performers. The non-addicts start to get addicted and will also start snorting to feel better. You are often just told to go to a shoot at A or B tomorrow. You don't know who you are going to be banging or what the scene will be. Performers who say no are shouted at and told they will no longer work in the industry. Both men and women are treated really badly in the industry. Pay is way worse than you think and you are an outcast in society, forcing you to surround yourself with industry people. A lot of women go to Hollywood to enter movies or modeling. A lot of the amateur agents will convince girls they are going to be stars only to later pressure them into porn. Every time I read these awful stories, I wish I had the nuts to start my own studio. Imagine being the ethical pornographer just by not treating people like shit. There is an episode of Louis Theroux in America where he looks at some of the people doing just this. Seems it is at least one of the positive aspects of OnlyFans becoming a thing. They exist. Also, OnlyFans made a massive improvement on QOL for being an adult performer.